Welcome to Limelight with Masuma. This segment is written, directed and hosted by a beautiful makeup artist by the name of Mrs. Masuma Papia. Masuma Ji beautifies us women and makes us stand out with her makeover. Here on this set, she interviews guests who are well known for their recognition. Let's see her honored guest for this month, and she is the founder and the CEO of a non-profit organization called MedLove. Her good name is Miss Surabhi Khanal. Let's meet her up close and personal through the eyes of our GTV camera.
Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to Limelight with Masuma. I'm your hostess, Masuma Papia. Limelight with Masuma is a TV show focused on promoting and highlighting business owners, professionals, upcoming trends, and key social issues. Above all, it's a show about people from different walks of life sharing their experience, their passion, their views, and expertise with us. Sometimes you meet people who are way ahead of their time in life. Age doesn't matter, circumstances doesn't matter. They turn everything to a positive note. So my guest today is someone just like that. I met her recently and I have to say it's truly a pleasure to get to know her. At such a young age, she accomplished so much that it sometimes takes lifetime for some people to achieve. So I can't wait to introduce her. So welcome to the show, Miss Surabhi Khanal. Surabhi, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
I know you're in school and scheduling tends to get real hectic, so I really appreciate you coming by today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Surabhi, I know you very well, but for our viewers, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Surabhi Khanal.
Okay.
Currently, I'm an undergraduate student at Emory University.
Nice.
But while I was living here in Northern Virginia, most of my life I've lived here in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And I attended Herndon High School. So backtrack, my family and I immigrated here from Nepal.
Oh,
I was
nice.
born in Kathmandu, and we came here in 2003.
You were born in Kathmandu?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so we
I'm
came
an
here.
immigrant, so I always relate to that kind of story.
Yeah. Yeah, so after that, I've been here my whole life, and now I go to school in Georgia, so.
Oh, nice. So you're going to Emory, you said?
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, she's a brainiac too. That's awesome. So, okay, this is what I've been dying to talk to you about, MedLove. What is MedLove Inc.?
Okay, so MedLove Inc. is my 501c3 nonprofit organization. Excuse me. I started it in 2016.
And I remember going to one of your events when you launched something, and we all bought your T-shirts that says MedLove on. And I do wear that sometimes.
Oh, thank
Maybe
you.
I should
Thank
take a
you.
picture and send it to you. But that was an amazing experience. So you actually started it.
Yeah.
You are the founder. Okay.
Yeah, I am the founder, and I'm currently the CEO.
Nice.
Hopefully, I can hand that off to someone. But I started off when I began in Leo's Club, which is a youth group for Lions International, which is another nonprofit organization.
Right.
So I had started volunteering ever since 10th grade. And then
that's so
because of Lions, I got introduced to many wonderful people. One of my mentors, Miss Ann Ryan, she gave me an opportunity to go up to the United Nations, actually.
You did?
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah,
At their
in
conference
New York, in their headquarters.
Oh
yeah.
my God, not everybody gets to do that. That's awesome. And then?
And then so I went to the United Nations, and there I met a leader that was not much older than me, like 19, 20, and she was talking about how she does work with African children and how she started her nonprofit organization. So then I started
here in the United States, like she's here.
No, she actually like works in Africa.
Oh, okay, so she resides there.
Yeah,
okay, okay.
So she had traveled for that conference. And so I spoke to her about my projects that I do with Leo's, and she was like, why don't you just consolidate it all and like start your own thing? So then I come home and then I tell Miss Ryan, my mentor, and then she was like, go for it.
Oh
so
my
then I
God,
did.
that's such a good story.
I established it, yeah.
It's what you always had that in you. You just needed to meet that one person who can kind of just push it to the next level.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I know it's probably not something we discussed before, but I do want to know, how do you juggle between school, because you're going to Emory, how do you do that? I mean, I can only focus on one thing at a time, but that's just me.
So right now I'm actually on spring break. But It's okay. I said push through.
So your spring break is work, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So that's how I juggle it. My vacation is my other work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have plenty of time in the future to enjoy. But what you're doing right now, it's something commendable. So
Thank you.
I cannot tell you what an honor that you're able to come to the show and share this story. So how? And I know you formed the 501c organization. What led you to that path? I know you talked about meeting somebody, but I'm sure there's some other stuff involved in it too. You just cannot come out and form something just like that. So what kind of helped you going through that path?
Well, I must say that I was born a feminist. A girl
I do want to talk about that later a little bit.
Girl power.
Yeah.
But I came here when I was around 3 years old, so I've always had that upbringing of being in a first world country. And I had a common misconception that things like sex trafficking happens in third world countries.
Yeah.
So when I went back to visit and I saw these different things and street children and all of this, I started asking questions.
Yeah.
And then it was still a misconception in my head that this only occurs like between the borders of Nepal and India. But when I came back,
which is not true.
Yeah, but when I came back, I did my research, and it actually turns out that like places like DC, Baltimore, and even like downtown Herndon, which is where I live, like there's trafficking everywhere in every corner
If
of every
anything,
city.
I feel like the percentage is quite high in here in the western side of the world, and it's just tremendous amount of work that goes with it, but there's more to be done. Right. So that's what kind of triggered that I should go ahead and form the 501c.
Yeah, I was like,
oh,
hey,
wow.
this is not only a third world condition, like it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And with your community, you started that with your community and it led you somewhere. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved with your organization? I know we did that because you kind of told us about it, but how do you put the word out there for people to reach out to you?
I have social media. I have an Instagram for the organization. I also have a website for the organization where I post like when my events are happening or where it's happening, how you can buy t-shirts. There's like a little online store. And there's also a place for volunteering and internships. So if you're like interested in volunteering or just maybe even forming a team and starting a fundraiser and then like donating towards the foundation.
So volunteering, I'm going to talk to you about that because I know, I mean, I try to do some, not maybe to the extent that you do, but for someone out there who actually wants to just exclusively volunteer within MedLove, is there a particular project that you offer them, or go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So right now, my biggest project is I'm working with Lions International Tanahu, which is a district in Nepal. So I'm kind of teaming up with them and trying to get an AIDS clinic built for the survivors there. I use the term survivors because I try to be careful because not everyone wants to be known as a victim. Survivors and empowering,
especially that part of the world. It's kind of it's not something that people come out and share that you have that disease. I think awareness may help when you go out. That's amazing. But is there a huge population that's affected with HIV?
Virus? So with the AIDS clinic, particularly in Shamga, which is where we're all trying to build it, there are AIDS patients. Not all of them are survivors, some are survivors, but there is a huge population with AIDS.
Oh, wow. And you have local folks who will help you out with that.
Because I'm overseas and
I'm sure it's hard to do that.
So I converse with the president of the Lions Club there, and then we go back and forth. So I do most of the fundraising and I send the money over and they do the building.
That's amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. That's such a huge thing.
Thank you.
Now you talked about Lions Club quite a bit. What is Lions Club for someone who doesn't know?
Okay, so Lions Club International is, I think, now the largest humanitarian organization in the world.
Sure.
It was founded by Helen Keller, and a lot of their work focuses on like eyesight and hearing, so they do eye and sight screenings.
Oh, wow.
And they have something called Leo's Club, which is a youth group for Lions Club.
Okay.
Now, when I joined, it was just a bunch of high school girls that like wanted to volunteer and get work done.
To get credit, they get the credit, extra
credit.
credit.
Well, actually, like that's like the conventional way.
Because I did that in high school.
Right, that's the conventional way. But we were actually a little more motivated towards
good. That's good.
Towards the medical side because we all want to aspire to be doctors.
Gotcha.
So we did things like going out to remote area medical in Southern Virginia, like the southern part of Virginia, and we went to this medical setting where they created like these vans and like these screening vans, and all these doctors come in and volunteer.
Okay.
And then so we kept doing that. And then I think the project that hit me was when we went around fundraising for napkins, for sanitary napkins.
Oh,
and we sent them overseas. So that was the feminist project that really hit me and was like, okay, this is for me.
That's so interesting that you said that, because I'm from South Asia. I'm from Bangladesh, and I know you talk about sanitary napkin. In the villages, it's so kind of like they just don't talk about it. It's not something that publicly women talk about. Like it's a shame, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But the awareness is so needed there. I mean, those are the parts that I think we need to hit.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you're doing that. So you're exclusively in Nepal right now.
Right now, yes,
But
because
I'm
that's
sure
where I can converse the most with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure our viewers would think about it, and if I can help in any way, I would love to. I love projects like this. This is amazing. So you're involved in so many different things. What are some of your current projects? I know you're in school, so it's not like you have like the whole year to plan out all the projects, but are you doing anything in the upcoming weeks to?
Hopefully I'll plan something for the summer, but as of now it's just the awareness platform that I also host here on GTV.
Yeah, she does, and it's an amazing show. So, yeah.
So that's one of my projects, and then conversing back and forth with Lions Club to fundraise for them.
Okay, good. And I know you work with a lot of amazing people there, and I actually met some of them, so you're in good hands. Throughout the process in your life, and I'm sure you've come across a lot of people who motivated you to do things, or actually inspired you, right? You look up to a lot of people. Tell me about some of your role models.
Well, first and foremost, with my volunteerism, would be, as I mentioned before, Miss Ann Ryan, who was my Leo Club sponsor and my mentor for most of my volunteer work.
Sure.
And then through her, I met Miss Marta Boda, who actually showed up to one of our meetings and was Miss Virginia America at the time. And then through her, I met a lot of other wonderful people. And then I was actually a guest on one of the GTV shows for Dodel, and then I got to meet our very own Miss Nilma.
Our executive
Mera.
Producer, yeah. She's
and
a huge personality out there.
She inspired me to start the show, and then so I got myself a platform where survivors could come on and share their stories.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's odd, but like,
you just don't know where you're going to meet people, right?
Yeah. And like, we try to be all professional and everything, but I must say, like, of course, my parents. Like, all of my service and everything that comes from within, like, I've seen them do so much for the community that I feel like that's the main, like, root of where my benevolence comes from.
Fruit didn't fall too far from the tree, I guess. Your upbringing has, I mean, it shows. So,
Thank you.
That's great. I do want to let you go because I know we're running out of time, but I want to talk to you about feminism because we've touched base a little bit earlier. I call myself a feminist, and I'm not ashamed of it. You know, and I just think this is one subject young women like you out there may not understand it sometimes, and they interpret it differently. So I'd like to know what your thought about feminism is. How do you define it? And what do you say to young women out there that don't be ashamed, don't be scared to show yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. And a lot of the people that I deal with are within my same ethnicity, so it's a social construct that some things are just taboo and you shouldn't talk about it if it's one of those girly things. So something to understand about feminism is that it's not all just polarized to just women.
That's true.
It's just about equality and both genders being equal. So it's not just girl power. A man can be a feminist.
And a man can totally be a feminist. Trust me,
definitely.
my husband is, I know.
Definitely. So yeah, it's not only polarized to the side of just girls, but it's just about men and women being equal and avoiding those stereotypes and social constructs. Yeah.
Sure, and it's such a right message out there, right? Because sometimes, I mean, and I'll talk about body shaming a little bit, and we have a little bit of time. Women get so you know, uncomfortable with how they look sometimes. And I think those are awareness we really need to put out there and talk to them like, you know, you are beautiful the way you are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't need a masking or anything like that. So I think all of that falls under feminism. Surabhi, thank you so much. You have to come back, okay, because I have so much more to talk to you about.
Okay,
so when you come back from school, obviously not ditching your school and coming back. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to see more eventful topics like this. Please email me at limelightwithmasuma@gmail.com or call at 703-646-0098. So until we meet again, stay happy, stay healthy, and enjoy life. Thank you.